30 people have gotten sick. And the CDC says the outbreak has spread to 36 states now. Officials say no one should be buying or selling honey smacks. This is ABC News.
Can you remember the last time you had a great night's sleep? How you felt the next morning? More energized, more alive. Feel the difference of deeper sleep daily with the new Tomorrow mattress. Designed by the world's leading sleep experts at Serta Simmons Bedding and delivered right to your door. Try the Tomorrow mattress for 365 nights risk-free at tomorrowsleep.com. Use promo code AWAKE4 for $125 off. tomorrowsleep.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Deer season has arrived, and Oakland Feed and Seed has what you need for the season. Buck jam and buck forage oats, 6-way deer forage mix, and 5-way deer forage mix. Check on the winter peas, molasses, 1 gallon and 2.5 gallon. Oakland Feed and Seed carries chicory, deer greens, dried molasses, beet juice, and more. If you're a deer hunter or want to be, go see Oakland Feed and Seed. Also, grass season is coming soon, and you can be ready with 17-17-17 fertilizer and 10-10-10 fertilizer, K31 fescue, and 5-star turf fescue. Make Oakland Feed and Seed your first stop because they have it all. Oakland Road, Spindale.
Your Wednesday forecast is looking pretty nice. A few storms will be possible during the afternoon, but overall we'll stay mainly dry today with high temperatures climbing up to 90 degrees, passing clouds throughout the afternoon, but overnight we'll slowly start to see cloud cover increase. Starting out tomorrow morning, partly cloudy, and then throughout the afternoon tomorrow, mostly sunny skies in the forecast again. A high temperature in the low 90s tomorrow, so the heat and humidity continue. I'm Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Thanks, Kat. We're glad to have you in the Weather Center this morning. We're starting out here in Rutherford at 70 degrees, warming up to about 89 before it's all over with a heat index around 95 with about a 40% chance of afternoon showers. And tomorrow, no shower activity called for at all on Thursday. And we got a 40, 50, 30% chance all this week. Nothing major. Maybe a pop-up afternoon thunder shower passing as the days unfold. But it'll be hot and humid all week long. Again, right now it is 70 degrees here at WCAB Country, AM 590 and 100.9 FM. Classic Oldies is our new format. We thank you for your response and letting us know what you think about that. All right, I have these death announcements this morning. Susan Joyce Lovelace, age 66 of Forest City, passed away Friday at Spartanburg Medical Center. Services will be held today at 11 o'clock at Wilson Baptist Church with Reverend Ted Blankenship and Reverend Billy Bostick officiating. The body will lie in state 1 hour prior to the service. Burial will follow at Eternal Hills Cemetery, Oakland Road, Forest City. Crow Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements for Susan Joyce Lovelace. Carolyn Green Waters, 86 of Mooresboro, died Saturday at her home. Services will be held 12 noon today at Providence United Methodist Church, Providence Road, Forest City, with a visitation 1 hour prior to the service at the Family Life Center of Providence United Methodist Church. The Reverend David Bradley and Reverend Robert Hudgens will be officiating the service, with Nancy Tate providing remarks. Following the service, Carolyn Waters' final resting place will be at Cliffside Cemetery. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is serving the family of Carolyn Green Waters. Lee Ledbetter, age 79 of Rutherfordton, died Tuesday, August 28th. A memorial service will be conducted at 5 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel with Pastor John Mitchell officiating. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Lee Ledbetter. Foy Winston Gibson, age 73 of Spindale, passed away Friday, August 31st. Services will be held today at 3 o'clock at Spindale United Methodist Church. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service in the church fellowship hall. Burial will be private. Crow's Mortuary will be in charge of the arrangements for Foy Winston Gibson of Spindale. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become into us, be sure to tune in this morning at 11:35 for the complete information on these. And again at 5:15 5:15 or 5:10 as part of the afternoon report each Monday through Friday here at WCAB in Rutherford. Well, the Braves had another bad night last night. Red Sox beat them 5-1, and they'll be going up against them this afternoon. It's an afternoon game. We'll join that game in progress if there's any part of it left after Rush Limbaugh's show this morning, and that'll be coming up at that point in time. High school football Friday night is on the threshold right now with Trinity Christian Academy and Thomas Jefferson will be our game of the week. And East Henderson will be playing at Chase, Burns at East, and Pisgah at RS Central. High school football at its best right here by WCAB coverage. Now by Rush Limbaugh is next.
For years, the food Nazis have pressured cereal companies to get rid of sugar in order to fight childhood obesity. So cereal makers ditched the sugar. But the kids still got fat. And it looks like the days of appeasement are over now because the Wall Street Journal says that sugar is coming back. Kellogg's killed off its lower sugar version of Frosted Flakes. After a backlash, General Mills scrapped its all-natural Trix and brought back the original complete with artificial colors and artificial flavors the way it ought to be. Catering to the food Nazis hurt the cereal makers' bottom line. Cereals created to attract the health-conscious, like Cheerios with added protein or Frosted Flakes with high fiber. They didn't sell. Nobody bought them. Over the last 5 years, cereal sales dropped 11%. So sugar is coming back to sweeten things up. Now, these cereal makers could have saved themselves a lot of grief if they had simply paid attention to me years ago or to Michelle Obama's school lunches. She replaced the foods that kids like with what she thought they should eat. And they ended up dumping her healthy choices into the garbage and sneaking off to fast food places. Consumers want Cheerios that taste like Cheerios, Trix with artificial colors, Frosted Flakes frosted with sugar. And they're going to get all of that again. It's a great day in America for you and for sugar, and hopefully a first step to more stuff like this.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-605-1673. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-605-1673. That's 800-605-1673.
We are remembering the classic oldies
right here on WCAB Rutherfordton.
The best of both worlds now. AM 590 and 100.9 FM.
Hi, I'm Colonel Greg Gatson, retired Army Colonel and former Garrison Commander of Fort Belvoir and proud U.S. veteran. I know from personal experience that the road to recovery can be difficult. If you've recently filed a VA disability claim and have to attend a VA claim exam, you've likely got questions. Search Compensation and Pension Exam on VA.gov for the answers you need and the benefits you've earned. Your VA claim exam. Know what's next.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton.
During the Mexican War of 1846, 6 of Felipe Espinosa's kin were killed by American soldiers. For over 10 years, he stewed about it, Then in 1861, he and some of his kin came up to Colorado with the objective of seeking revenge, and the revenge they wanted to deal out was harsh. They vowed to kill 100 gringos for every kinfolk killed, or 600 people. To make sure everyone knew who had done the killing, they left a trademark. They would shoot the victim in the head and then shove a stick through the wound. Over the next couple of years, they murdered 26 Coloradoans. Obviously, the military was on their tail. At the rate of 13 kills a year, the cavalry breathing down their necks, Espinosa decided negotiations were in order. So he sent a message to the governor of the Colorado Territory. It said he and his relatives would stop killing Coloradoans if they were given 5,000 acres and appointed captains in the Colorado Volunteers. If not, he had 574 kills to go. One can only imagine how furious the governor became when he read the note. He placed a $2,500 reward on the head of Felipe Espinosa and put more troops on his tail. True to his word, Espinosa went back to killing. Coloradoans were living in fear, and any stranger who came to town was looked upon with suspicion. This resulted in the death of more than one innocent man at the end of a vigilante's rope. But then on September 3, 1863, Espinosa committed a crime that resulted in his downfall. Tomorrow, we'll hear about that crime. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Now at 15 minutes past the hour, let's head to the phones and get started with our call-around portion of our morning news report. And Deputy Lancaster's on the phone with me right now from the Sheriff's Department to get us started. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing great, thanks. What's been going on in the world of crime fighting?
Well, in the last 24 hours, we've had 153 calls for service, 15 arrests, and we currently have 201 in the jail. As far as incident reports go, we have a breaking and entering a motor vehicle and a larceny after breaking and entering, reported by Jerry Lee Quinn. He's reporting that a Sony radio was stolen, 2 debit cards and a Social Security card, and $20 worth of change were all taken from the vehicle. And then I have a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering reported by Michael Lyndon Hollers of the Boiler Road area. He's reporting a PlayStation 3 being stolen from his residence, a bucket of change of unknown amount, and prescription medication. As far as arrest reports go, I have Juwan Eugene Lynch arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. He's got a $500 secured bond. I have Stephen Douglas Brewer arrested for speed to elude arrest, possess drug paraphernalia, possess marijuana, resist public officer, failure to appear on a misdemeanor, driving a license to vote, reckless driving to endanger, and littering not greater than 15 pounds. He's got a $26,000 secured bond. I have a Haley Brianna Bowman arrested for resist, obstruct police officer, and harboring a fugitive. She's got a $5,000 secured bond. And that's all I've got for reports today.
David Lancaster, thank you so much for that report, and you be safe out there today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
See you now. Communications Center report up next. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. It's Carrie now with the report from the Communications Center on this Wednesday morning. Carrie, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on that report from the past 24 hours?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 443 911 and administrative calls. EMS had 48, Rescue had 14. Under law enforcement, Sheriff's Office had 153, Bar City 68, Lake Lure 10, Rutherford 31, Spindale 45. Under fire calls, Cherry Mountain responded to a woods fire. Rutherfordton responded to a motor vehicle accident. Spindle responded to a motor vehicle accident. Spindle responded to a grass fire. STO responded to a motor vehicle accident. And that was all we had.
Thanks so much. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
SDO report is next. Ruby Taylor, good morning.
Good morning.
What's been happening in your fire district?
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Hazel Walker and Carol Costner having birthdays. And I hope these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the breast today and going to the heart tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
20 minutes after 7 o'clock, 70 degrees. We're warming up today. A little bit hot with the humidity. Humidity heat index around 95 today expectations. So get that sweat cloth out there. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304.
43 years experience behind the name, voted best of best 8 years. That's why folks depend on Hutchins Pest Control. You can call on Tim and his team for moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, air quality control, dehumidification, and of course, pest control, rats, fire ants, termites, wildlife removal, and so much more. Call them today for your free estimate. 287-5171. Get the job done by the professionals and relax. Hutchins Pest Control, honest, dependable, and on-time service.
We're heading up Rumbling Ball this morning and find out what's been happening up there. And we have Steve on the phone with us right now. Steve, are there any bars over there?
Yeah. You saw the picture this morning?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's about a 500-pounder there.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, he's been getting on top of the dumpsters and the ones with the plastic tops and bending those in.
Oh, wow.
And then getting to the victuals, I guess.
It's a hungry bear.
Yeah, well, you see it takes a lot to sustain him.
Yes.
So I guess he gets very, well, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but he finds ways to get stuff.
Now, how far away were you when you made that picture?
Oh, I didn't make that picture.
Oh, you didn't make it?
That wasn't me. That's Steve Kennedy gets credit for that particular picture. He's one of our residents here. That was taken at the motor coach in, and he was off to the side in the woods looking for treats. So, nevertheless, they're out here. We're just we try to avoid them.
Smart.
Yeah. I have a couple announcements. The Rutherford County Fire Rescue Association, they're still asking folks to come out and buy those raffle tickets for $2 a piece, and the raffle is October 7th at 5 p.m., and you don't have to be present to win. You get your tickets from any fire department. So there's 3 guns that they have here. They're Rugers and a TriStar semi-automatic 12-gauge. So that'll be a good win for the community, and it'll be fun to try to win something. Also, this Saturday, the ladies, the auxiliary ladies, with the Fairfield Mountain Volunteer Fire Department, they're going to be sponsoring a down-home barbecue with all the fixings. And it's going to be at the fire department here across from the chapel, and it's very popular. It starts at 4 p.m., so until they run out, and the tickets are $12 and $5 for children that are 10 and under. It's a good cause and some good food, good fellowship, and once again, these folks do a lot for our community. There's a lot of area they cover, and a lot of things that they do, different things for the community. So I couldn't sit here and tell you everything they do in 5 minutes.
No.
It's quite an effort.
They do great work.
Yes, so we're glad that they're doing that, and we're glad that they're here and keeping us safe. So we're on Wednesday now, and we're basically kind of helping out the folks that are coming in for the Equestrian Center. We're doing some lodging for them. We're kind of working out those arrangements, and we'll see how busy it's going to get here because of that, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of impact we're going to have during those events.
Major.
Yeah, it will be interesting, that's
now,
for sure.
Are some of them staying there at your place?
Yes, they are. The lodging director for the Equestrian Center came over here Monday and was trying to work with us on getting see what we could do for them, and vice versa. So
good.
So I'm sure they've been going all around town, maybe even outside the county.
Yeah, some of them are staying as far away as Charlotte, and even further away than that, I think. But
wow.
Some of them are really finding hard place to stay here, so we don't have enough accommodations for everybody.
Yeah, there's one particular Arabic person, kingship or whatever, brought his own very expensive tent.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so I heard stories about, I don't know how true they are or whatever, but it's very interesting. So we'll see how all that pans out, and hopefully there'll be a lot of pictures to see what all occurred and all the interesting things related to it. So we're just going to see how we can help them and they can help us.
Good.
And,
well, we welcome them to the area.
Yes, sir.
Well, listen, you have a great day up there, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow, and watch out for the bars.
Well, we will. We'll do that.
I see, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, don't want to see no bar that big. There's a bar over there. Hey, listen, let me see by show of hands, is it time to replace your doors or windows? Yes, I see those hands out there. Maybe both. Well, let David Allen give you the quote on what you need your house to become more efficient in these seasons ahead of us. We got cold weather coming. It's hot right now. You can get those in to help with that, but it's cold weather coming up. Those efficient doors and windows you really need. David's got over 50 years of combined experience in the construction field, and his expertise runs in doors and windows. Visit Henson's beautiful showroom and see David. Ask all the questions you want to ask. He comes highly recommended. He's got windows and door display space throughout the showroom to help you get a good idea of what you want to go with. Doors and or windows, or both. See them. Henson's has more than you think. They're more than just a lumberyard. And I was over there yesterday, by the way, and they've got some more Traeger grills in. They got the smaller units and the larger units. Go check that Traeger grill out. Will you do that? You'll be sold on it. More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com. 28 minutes after 7 o'clock, let's go check in with our friend Bob Hodge up at the Hudlow Fire District. Bob, good morning. How are you doing?
Oh, we're doing just fine on this hump day morning.
Good. Bob, I have folks tell me all the time how much they enjoy listening to you do the reports in the mornings.
Well, thank you. Well, I enjoy being on it there.
Well, you do a good job of it. We appreciate the fact that you commit to that every day.
Right. But, I enjoy being on it. Been on it a long time there.
I guess according to the ones that have been on, I guess to use a term fondly, you're the oldest rat in the barn. I
guess I am the oldest old horse in the barn there, yeah.
Herman's passed on now, so you've been with us probably longer than anybody else.
Well, that's 1970, 71 there, so almost around 50 years. So.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, Jim, up here with the fire department is quiet during the night. Hadn't had any fire calls so far, so that's good. Want to say happy birthday to Ray Sprouts this morning. And also now the Mount Vernon Community Club is having their 60th anniversary celebration coming up this coming Saturday morning. And they're going to have a give back celebration that starts at 11 a.m. and runs to 3 p.m. They have all fun and food and games and auctions and local entertainment. We'll have the fire trucks out there and child safety seat inspections and Relton County Sheriff's K9 dogs. And also they have hot dogs and tea and lemonade and more there. So come on out and for the celebration there Saturday morning. And Jim, that's about it up here and this morning, and I hope you have a good Wednesday there.
Bob, thank you very much. You too, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bob. Bye-bye. It's 7:30 here on WCAB's Morning Wake Up Call, 100.9 FM and 590 AM. The best of both worlds right here from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. Hey, listen, if you're dreaming about some new floors, carpet, and floor covering, then let the Dream Makers help it become reality. That's Joel and Lynn and Clayton Tony over at Southern Carpets. They're your guides to top quality flooring and expert installation. The family business been growing for the past 40 years. And they strive to take a little bit of Southern hospitality with you as they meet the flooring needs of their neighbors here in Rutherford and surrounding counties. They have things from carpets, hardwoods, laminates, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, sheet vinyl, and they're proud and offer American-made products whenever possible. Good hometown folks, growing the business from hometown hospitality and good ethics, good above-board transactions. Go see Southern Carpet for your next transaction. Do business right here at home. Do business with home folks. Southern Carpet. Here's Sue Price now with our report from the Cherry Mountain Fire District on this Wednesday morning. Sue, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Good. It's a beautiful morning over here. I have started at 70 degrees, and I'm sure it's already going up, though. We're looking for another warm day, but that's okay. And we didn't get any rain yesterday. Last night it thundered a couple of times, and I thought we were going to get some, but we never did. We sure do need a good shower. It's mighty dusty over this way, the road driveway. And
good, slow, steady rain would be good for a couple hours.
Oh, it would. It'll come. We just have to be patient. Well, let's see. The fire department had one woods fire call, and the only birthdays I have are on my church calendar, my personal calendar. And it's for Angela Ekstrom and Luther Gilligan, so I hope they'll have a good day today. Nothing on the other calendars for today. In my announcements, the FFA is having a fundraiser. That's Saturday, September the 8th. They're going to be having hot dogs and hamburgers, desserts and drinks, and that's going to be at the Drop-In in Bostick from 10 to 2. So come on out and support the FFA and help them out with this. Get you a good hot dog or hamburger and good dessert. That's from 10 to 2 Saturday. The Golden Valley Community Club fundraiser raffle, 3 chances to win on the ticket, and the tickets are $10. You don't have to be present to win, but we hope you'll come and be with us on that day. We're going to have a candidates forum, hot dogs and hamburgers, and then the drawing sometime during the afternoon. We're starting at 3 o'clock with some of the candidates, and then 4:30 to 6:30 is the hot dog and hamburger sale, and then At 6:30, the other canvas will be there. So come on out and enjoy and maybe win you a gun. We got 3 guns on the ticket. And so far, I guess that's the only announcements I have. It's just quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks very much, Sue. I'll see you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302. You know, loss of hearing can be a terrible, terrible thing. See, it happens sometimes, but with age, sometimes it happens because of loud industrial noise over the years, or loud music pumping in the ears. But if you're beginning to recognize there's a hearing loss, there's ways to remedy that. Lisa Terry has the answers over at Miracle Ear office. When you want some sound facts about better hearing, go to Miracle Ear. Millions of satisfied Miracle Ear customers around the world have been satisfied with the Miracle Ear, the A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And there's so many features you'll appreciate about it. Just ask Lisa about it when you're ready for a positive change in your hearing. That free hearing test costs you nothing, no obligation whatsoever. It takes just a very few minutes to find out what's going on. But it might be the first step in a brighter future for you. Find out more about that miracle in Miracle Ear. That is 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102, Forest City. Is this the party to whom I'm speaking?
This is she. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
I am on this wonderful Wednesday morning.
Wonderful Wednesday morning it is.
Yeah. This month's just trucking right along. It's already the 5th.
I'll tell you right now.
It'll be Christmas before we can bat an eye, won't it?
Doesn't pay to sleep too long. It'll be here before you know it.
I don't sleep much anyway.
Do
you don't either, do you?
I don't get many hours of sleep.
I'm lucky if I get 5 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, me too.
I just wake up early. I don't know why. I always have. It's aggravating sometimes when you could at least sleep till 6 or 6:30.
Yeah. You don't sleep that late, do you?
No. I don't know when I slept till 6 o'clock.
Well, I do when I'm off. I sleep.
I just don't sleep. It don't take much sleep from me, so.
Well, some
I
people,
guess that's okay. Everybody's different, ain't they?
A lot of people, that's right. Some people don't require much sleep.
So, but I usually go to bed about 9 o'clock. And, of course, I read my Bible and say my prayers and do my little daily devotion in a little book I got.
Yeah.
So it's usually about 9:30 for me actually in the bed.
Yeah.
So.
Pray for me when you're having your devotions.
Okay. Everybody needs prayer.
Oh, yeah, I do. Absolutely. Yeah, every day.
Yeah, we all need prayer.
A lot of people pray for me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate everybody that prays for me, too. I need it, too. Probably worse than anybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see, I've got 68 degrees on the front porch this morning. Birthdays today, Olivia Ashley and Mark H. Smith and Luther Gilligan. And then on Round Hill, I've got T.J. Edwards' birthday, so we hope all these people have a great old big day on their special day. And then ways of announcements. We got the ROM reunion coming up Sunday the 9th at Macedonia Baptist Church, and it'll be after the morning worship service, so everybody come and bring a well-filled picnic basket. Then we got at the Union Mills Learning Center on Hudlow Road in Union Mills, September the 7th, 7 p.m., Bluegrass Tradition. Meal begins at 6 p.m. Cost of the meal is $5, and that's spaghetti, salad, bread, dessert, and drink. Music begins at 7, and they have a tip jar available for the band. And then we got a buffet breakfast at the Gilkey School Community Center. Starts at 7 a.m. and goes to 10, and that's Saturday the 8th Adults $6, kids 6 to 12 $3, 6 and under free. All you can eat: sausage, bacon, liver mush, gravy, and biscuits. All the trimmings and proceeds go to help rebuild the old Gilkey School. So far, that's all I've got.
You know what the shortest verse in the Bible is?
Jesus wept.
That's right. You're right. You go to the head of the class. you get the right answer.
Oh, but yeah.
Interesting stuff.
I'll tell you who taught me that, Miss Ari Smith.
Really?
Used to be the Bible teacher at Central.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I took Bible 3 years in high school.
They don't teach that anymore, do they?
Nope, they sure don't.
That's a shame.
Some schools, I think, might teach some as history.
Yeah.
And that is history. That's the most important history of all.
It is history. That's why I don't understand why they want to take it away. It's history.
I don't either. But
it's like
who knows?
It's like American history and world
That's
history.
Right.
It's biblical history.
That's exactly right.
They're afraid. I think they're afraid of it.
Yeah, they're afraid of it. You're right. It starts at the very beginning of time.
Yep.
And so
tells you what's going to happen at the very end.
That's exactly right. It tells us, and I think we're in them days.
I think you're right. Well, listen, brother, you enjoy your day up there, and I'll see you
back
here tomorrow.
Good. Okay, catch you later.
All right, bye-bye. Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills this morning. McCurry Deck Motors has been providing an impressive selection of automobiles for over 50 years. At McCurry Deck, you can browse the great selection of GMC automobiles and drive away in one knowing you have gotten the best deal possible. The team at McCurry Deck Motors counts it a privilege to make you a happy and satisfied customer. Why not test drive one of the comfortable and stylish GMCs today? At GMC, we're professional grade. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of GMC, 1740 U.S. Highway 74A in Forest City. See those beautiful GMCs today. At GMC, we're professional grade.
Saving a lot on your groceries is easy at Save-A-Lot. They have hundreds of super low prices on many of your favorite name brand items. They have a great selection of fresh meats and produce, frozen foods, snack foods, your favorite beverages, and delicious pastries. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sundays 10 to 8. Saving a lot is easy at Save-A-Lot in the White Oak Plaza in Spindale. The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
It's 7:42 and it's Wednesday morning. Well, I guess it would be in order for us to pause a moment and wish you a happy birthday, Mr. Gilligan.
Thank you.
What, about 47?
I'm planning to have a good time today.
About 47 today, I guess, right?
38 and a half.
Well, can I have a bite of your cake? Can I have a piece of cake?
I'm going to have the whole cake.
You're not going to save anybody in bites?
Yeah, but we'll eat the whole thing before it's gone.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you, everybody come around. Well, I like told my wife this morning, I'm too old to die young. But I've had a lot of good times, too. A lot of wars going under the bridge, but I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, good. That's the way to live life.
That's the most exciting thing going on there today. Me and Drew Jones, we having a birthday. He turns 80 today, and I turn 76.
76. Well, happy birthday, 76. And 80, was you 82? How old was Mr. Jones?
He turns 80.
80 today. Well, happy birthday.
He's 4 years older than I am. So we're going to have, both of us going to have a good time. And also, Connor Cox, he's having a birthday today, too. So wish him a happy birthday. And that's about, like I said, that's the biggest thing going on right here. Fire department didn't have anything, don't have anything else going on. That's about all that's happening right here. Nothing's happening. It looks to me like it's getting close to birthday time, so you have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther, and again, happy birthday. Have many, many more of them.
I'll probably have 40 more.
All right. I'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
That's Luther Gilligan in Edinburgh, and we take time now to have a birthday party for everybody else. If you're celebrating, call it in to us now at 287-3356, and we'll see who's going to win those Daylight Donuts from Granny B's. Those that call in will be in the drawing. 287-3356.
Get ready for those hot summer months driving with a stop at RS Speedy Lube, Railroad Avenue. The Express Inspection Station gets you back on the road and keeps you legal. Speedy Lube has 2 lanes to serve you, gets you in and out in no time, and vacuum your car while the oil is being changed, air conditioner checked, transmission flushed, wiper blades replaced if needed, even a top-of-the-line car wash, all at RS Speedy Lube and Inspection Station, Railroad Avenue in Ruth. Take care of that car and have a safe trip.
You know, the drop-in stores, they've been around a while. They've been serving Rutherford County with 37 years of quality service. Fully stocked aisles, great selection of merchandise, super clean stores to shop in. That's important to me. Super clean store to shop in. Really important to me. Stop into the drop-in and enjoy a Major Lee's Triple Play meal deal. 1 chicken strip, 2 hot wings, and 3 potato wedges for only $1.99. Regular price $4.19. You must take advantage now of some great other offers offering for September. They also offer junior slushes, only 99 cents. Fountain drinks, 99 cents. And for real milkshakes, only $2.99. Hot nights, cool ideas. The drop-in and Major League Good Chicken. You can't beat it. Come on. Drop in.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Getting ready for deer season doesn't have to be burdensome with your friends standing by to help. Farmer's Friend, feed, seed, and supply in Rutherford. Deer corn, $7 for a 50-pound bag. Cob corn, $8. Peanut deer mix, $12.99 for the 50-pound bag. Sugar beet, $25 for 3 pounds. All your deer season preparation is now available at Farmer's Friend, feed, seed, and supply. Check out the best price for Kills Weed Killer, $47.99 for 2.5 gallons. Farmer's Friend, feed, seed, and supply, 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, Susan Hall is having a birthday today. She's over the Veteran Services Office there in Spindale, and she's celebrating a birthday today. I want to wish Susan a special happy. Tina Walker is 58 over in Forest City. Victoria Lowry is 18, a student at ICC. Karen Marshall, Rumling Ball. She lives at Rumling Ball. She works at BB&T. Debbie Justice, Cleghorn, works for Dr. Bell. And you said they're sisters, Karen and Debbie are sisters. Well, happy birthday to both of these girls. Norris Norval of Cane Creek is also having a birthday today. And others on this 5th for the month. Looks like Olivia Atchley, Malik H. Smith, all having birthdays today as well. So happy birthday. We'll find out who's going to get the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in just a moment.
Be a fountain, not a drain, said Rex Hudler. Fountains are fascinating as well as functional. They are aesthetically pleasing to both eye and ear. Place a small fountain in your flower garden, and you will see what I mean. Properly surrounded by beautiful summer blooms, a fountain is poetry in motion. Set up your lounge chair nearby. Arrange yourself comfortably upon it. Sit back, close your eyes. Let the gentle musical sound of the trickling water soothe your weary spirit. Relax and enjoy it. Maybe it will serve as a lullaby, a prelude to a short nap that will recharge your physical batteries. Perhaps it will be just a refreshing respite, settling you down to a relaxing period of meditation upon God's infinite wisdom and goodness. Drains, on the other hand, are negative symbols. They represent that which we want to get rid of or avoid. Drains take both the good and the bad from us. They can leave us feeling empty and depleted. When they rob us of that which is good, they can leave us feeling defeated or devastated. We can be a fountain or a drain. We can give of ourselves to those around us and add much that is pleasant to their lives. Or we can be such a drain that folks want to avoid us. Which would you rather be? It's your choice. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
Additional names to add to the birthday list this morning is Angela Exton, 16, a student at East High School, and Cindy Holcomb is also having a birthday today as well. Now let's see who's going to be the lucky winner of the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's. And our winner today is Susan Hall, the head of the Veterans Affairs Office in Spindale. Susan is our winner of the donuts today. We'll have a certificate right here. Stop by, Susan, and pick that up. For all the rest of it, we hope it's a great, great day for you. 7:51 coming up next hour. If our communications has worked out right, we should have the commissioner's report first a little after 8 o'clock this morning. And, of course, 8:30, Word of Faith continues their program. County commissioners met last night rather than Monday night, so we didn't have Labor Day. It was Labor Day Monday, so they did not meet Monday night. So we did not have the commission report Tuesday. They met last night, and we hope to have the commission report today. So we'll see. And normally, chairman comes at 8:30. We have that commitment at 8:30. So maybe I got the word to him. Hopefully he'll be, hopefully he'll be here a little after 8 o'clock. We'll see. If it doesn't work out, then we'll just have to apologize because we get time crunched like that a lot when folks are wanting to be on the program. Like yesterday morning, we had a really time crunch, but boy, we got it all in, and such interesting information yesterday. So we like to keep you informed as well as entertained and hopefully sometimes inspired with the earlier gospel hour. So we'll see what happens. If not, we'll carry on. And 8:30 this morning, of course, Word of Faith continues to speak out right here live in the studios at WCAB. Coming up real soon, I'll give you posted on that. We are working on the schedule to have the political candidates in one at a time to talk about their candidacy here in the Blue Room and find out more about them and what they're running for and why. And we'll get that worked out and give you a heads up on the starting time of those scheduled dates. So you'll know better on what's happening in the world of politics.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Members of the Senate Judiciary Committee will begin questioning today Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh after a contentious first day of hearings. Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina said the support for Kavanaugh is overwhelming.
If you look at the introductions today, the broad spectrum of support that he received, it suggests to me that a no vote for Judge Kavanaugh is just a political vote.
Tropical Storm Gordon made landfall in Dauphin Island, Alabama last night, then hit the mainland just west of the Alabama-Mississippi border, bringing with it heavy rains and danger in some areas of flash floods. CBS's Manuel Bojorges is in Pensacola.
The storm will weaken to a tropical depression today, but that does not mean that the threat of additional damage or flooding is over. In fact, as it moves north, the threat of isolated tornadoes remains.
A panel of federal judges has agreed it's too late to create a new congressional map for North Carolina's fall elections, even though the judges declare the current lines illegal partisan gerrymanders. The judges issued their order on Tuesday, a week after they ruled for election advocacy groups and Democrats who sued and accused Republican lawmakers of excessive partisan bias. Governor Roy Cooper visited Kinston's Global Trans Park to meet with North Carolina Defense Industry Diversification Initiative teams on Tuesday. The initiative is now financially backing 30 companies, all of which create and manufacture products for the military. The goal of the project is to help diversify these products so they can become appealing for consumers outside of the military. He tells WNCT News.
First, it'll help these companies stay viable and stay in business. It will also keep the jobs that people have with these companies and hopefully increase the jobs.
Two suspected drug dealers are being held on $1 million bond each after authorities say they found a slew of drugs inside an apartment. They were arrested in Greenville. You're listening to NCN News.
Hey football fans, the wait is over. The 2018 ACC Football Preview Magazine is out on newsstands right now. Get your football fix before the season kicks off with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Want a copy shipped to you? Order your copy today by going to accsports.com and clicking on the Football Preview banner.
Carolina Hurricanes single game tickets are on sale now. Take warning as the Canes host the New York Islanders at PNC Arena to kick off the 2018-2019 season on Thursday, October 4th. Full season, 22-game and 11-game flex plans also are available, offering tickets starting as low as $16 per game. For more information and to secure your seats for opening night, visit CarolinaHurricanes.com/tickets. Canes, Islanders, October 4th. Be there.
North Carolina's congressional districts deemed unconstitutional won't be redrawn anytime soon. CBS News correspondent Jim Crisula.
A panel of 3 federal judges has backed off the idea of requiring a new congressional map for North Carolina's fall elections. The decision comes a week after the judges declared the current district lines illegal partisan gerrymanders. The federal appeals court ruled the Republican-led North Carolina legislature came up with the congressional map to help GOP candidates. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Raleigh, North Carolina.
There's outcry overseas over a prime minister's special plan to feed her baby.
Fresh back from maternity leave, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is being criticized for adjusting her schedule to breastfeed her daughter. Ardern made arrangements to fly separately from her deputy to a summit in the Pacific Islands so she could meet little Nevi's needs. The New Zealand Herald says the alternate travel plans will cost about $50,000 in fuel. Just 11 weeks old, the baby is too young for vaccinations, which prevents her from going with her mom. Critics say Ardern should have stayed home. Ardern tells the Herald, "Damned if I do, damned if I don't."
North Carolina's top education official says the state's public schools are getting a security boost as the new school year starts by using much of the funds lawmakers set aside this year for safety and mental health programs. Superintendent of Public Instruction Mark Johnson announced that education officials have distributed $22 million in safety grants since July, adding cameras and hundreds of new campus-based police officers across the state. British prosecutors say they've charged in absentia 2 Russian men in the attempted murders of former Russian spy and his daughter. Police are showing photos and security camera footage of Alexander Petrov and Ruslan Bezarov.
It is likely that they were traveling under aliases, and these are not their real names. We'd like to hear from anyone
who knows them.
Mike Rayleigh.
24/7 WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab59.com.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The White House this morning again challenging a new book from journalist Bob Woodward that includes stories of top aides insulting the president, even hiding papers from him. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders tells ABC it's false and not what Americans care about.
They don't care about another book that has a lot of salacious stories and names that, frankly, have been told, and this is just another repeat of pure fiction.
President Trump on Twitter has just asked why lawmakers won't change libel laws. Some lawmakers today will be hitting the president's nominee to the U.S. Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh, with questions as his confirmation hearing continues. ABC's Terry Moran.
When Judge Brett Kavanaugh takes his place here today, he's going to get hammer and tong questions from the Democrats. It all shows just how passionate Democrats are to block his nomination and how powerless they feel they are to accomplish that.
Also on Capitol Hill, representatives from tech companies like Google and Twitter facing questions over misinformation. ABC's Mark Remillard says Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg will be there.
In prepared remarks, Sandberg talks about steps Facebook has taken to shut down fake accounts and reduce the spread of fake news, including using artificial intelligence and changes to the company's political advertisement policies. The hearing comes just 2 months ahead of the midterms and just weeks after all three companies announced they had taken down an influence campaign tied to Iran.
Charges this morning in Great Britain against 2 Russians in the poisoning of a former spy.
Alexander Petrov and Ruslan Boshirov, 2 Russian nationals, have been named prime suspects in the poisoning of former spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. The police here now saying there's sufficient evidence to charge the 2 with attempted murder and conspiracy to murder.
That's ABC's Ian Panel. Tropical Storm Gordon is slowing down as it drives further inland, leaving about 38,000 without power in Florida, Mississippi, and Alabama. You're listening to ABC News.
This is a special announcement for all Americans who owe back taxes to the IRS or state. Pay attention. There's a special toll-free hotline set up especially for you. This hotline will give you free information on how you can legally reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call the taxpayer hotline today at 800-441-1943. Grab a pen or put the number in your cell phone. 800-441-1943. You'll speak with qualified professionals who'll tell you how to stop the collection calls, IRS letters, bank levies, and wage garnishments. And they'll deal directly with the IRS on your behalf, so you don't have to. Even if you haven't filed returns or you already are in a payment plan, you can still get relief. New IRS settlement policies have opened the doors for a fresh start. But hurry, this won't last forever, and your tax problem will only get worse if you do nothing or try to handle it yourself. It makes a big difference in who you call. So call the taxpayer hotline today for free information. 800-441-1943. 800-441-1943.
Brought to you by South Coast Tax.
A company that once promised a new, better way to test blood is going away.
In 2003, 19-year-old Elizabeth Holmes founded Theranos, a company she said had developed blood testing methods that only needed very small amounts of blood. Investors and the media hyped Theranos as a breakthrough in the more than $70 billion a year blood testing market. Holmes and the company's former number 2 executive now face federal trials on charges that they misled doctors and patients and defrauded investors out of hundreds of millions of dollars. An email sent to shareholders says the company will now be dissolved. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Amazon will open trading today just shy of being worth $1 trillion. It topped the $1 trillion mark yesterday for a bit before pulling back. Syria now says Israel has launched a new attack.
Syrian state TV is accusing Israel of carrying out a rare daytime raid, bombing targets in 2 provinces, Hama and Tartus near the coast. Iranian military installations were hit, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. At least 1 person was reportedly killed and a dozen injured. Israeli officials are declining to comment on the incident, but a senior IDF official said Israel has struck 200 Iranian targets in Syria over the last 18 months. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
And researchers say that they have found a litter of rare blue-eyed mountain lions in Southern California. They warn, however, the blue eyes come from inbreeding. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hey, what in the world are you eating?
A donut.
A donut? What's in it?
Ice cream.
Ice cream in a donut? What's it called?
What's it called? An ice cream stuffed donut. Duh.
Well, where'd you get it?
Jesse James Railroad Express.
Jesse James Railroad Express. Now, where in the world is that?
That's at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Let's go get one, folks.
The heat and humidity continue across the foothills and the Piedmont today. A few storms will be possible after lunchtime. Otherwise, expect partly cloudy skies with a high right near 90 degrees this afternoon. Overnight, expect a little bit of an increase in cloud cover. Low temperatures back near 70 degrees. And tomorrow's forecast, rinse and repeat. Very similar to what we saw today. High temperatures in the low 90s with mostly sunny skies. I'm Kat Campbell in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Kat. It's warmed up now 2 degrees. We're at 72 degrees, climbing up to about 89 with the heat index around 95 right here in the foothills. At WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging around for the third hour of the morning wake-up call. We got news from here and there, some comments to make right here in just a few moments. Now listen up to this. Have you heard the 3 big lies about Medicaid eligibility? First, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Second, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. That's not true. And third, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. That's not true. Please call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm for a free consultation and learn the truth about Medicaid and eligibility and nursing home care in North Carolina. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify and not lose everything you own. Call the Arledge Law Firm today at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton. Again, that's 287-3338. Some of the stories from here and there reported today in the Daily Courier. They're reporting about the general election being close at hand. With the November 6th general election day just around the corner, around 85% of Rutherford County's eligible population is registered to vote, according to numbers from the census and the local elections board. The over 18 population in July 2017 was estimated to be about 52,641 by the U.S. Census Bureau. Of those, 45,069 registered voters break down into 16,982 Republicans, 14,292 Democrats, 13,566 unaffiliated, and 221 Libertarians, according to the local election specialist, Angela Reimer. According to the last report I saw, officially, it looks like there are only about four to six precincts in Rutherford County that are now predominantly Democratic. Many of those numbers are smaller, and Republicans outnumber the Democrats substantially here in Rutherford County. The State Elections Board shows that only 9,483 Rutherford County residents voted in the May primary election. Hopefully, we'll do better than that in the general. For those planning to exercise their civic duty in November, there's some information that you might want to know about. You can find all of this at the Elections Board, and we'll have a lot of this coming up. Friday, October the 12th, is the deadline to register or change your party affiliation. You can register in person or through mail. One-stop voting begins October the 17th and ends November 3rd. Election day is Tuesday, November the 6th. Absentee voting was scheduled to begin by mail this Thursday, but the North Carolina Board of Elections issued a statement on August 30th saying that the preparation of ballots has been paused. The delay is due to court action surrounding proposed constitutional amendments. Well, I think that now has been changed. We have a report from the North Carolina Supreme Court declared that proposed amendments to the North Carolina Constitution are fair, proper, and will be on the ballot this November. The ballots must be printed immediately, according to the Supreme Court of North Carolina. Two courts rejected Governor Cooper's attempt to suppress voters from amending their state constitution. The ballot text is fair and accurate, and despite the governor's best efforts, the court agrees. Republicans want to allow voters a say regarding their state constitution, and it's disappointing that the governor believes citizens are unable to understand the amendments for themselves. However, We believe the people of North Carolina are fully capable of understanding the amendments and will give all of them due consideration this November. Those that from the chairman of the NCGOP, Robin Hayes, released that statement earlier. But the Supreme Court has declared that those proposed amendments to the Constitution are fair, proper, and will be on the ballot in November. So that's been the hesitancy of getting those things printed, but now they can go ahead and get that printed and be on the ballot for us in November. Well, we continue to talk about the Equestrian Center and the traffic that is generating. There are more and more cars and trucks coming our way. One report had hundreds of horses landed at the Charlotte Airport ahead of the World Equestrian Center. The games are held over every 4 years around the world in the middle of the Olympic City. An Emirates Sky cargo plane touched down at the Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport for the first time on Sunday, carrying 67 horses. This is an Emirates Sky cargo plane carrying 67 horses. According to the president of FEI, the organization running the World Equestrian Games, it was the largest commercial transport of horses in history. 550 horses from 6 different continents are set to land by Thursday ahead of the Games, which begins next week on the 11th. Barbara Keaton, a horse lover from Taylor, South Carolina, who went to the airport to watch as the first group of horses flew in on Sunday, she said, who would have thought that Tryon, North Carolina, and Greenville, South Carolina would be part of this world-class event? Well, it's actually not in Tryon. It's more in the Columbus area. We had to be here to see it because it's a Saudi Arabian airline bringing in horses from all over Europe. It was just something that has never happened here before. Equine veterinarians will be helping the horses off the plane before loading them up and driving them to the Equestrian Center, where they'll be quarantined, according to Carly Wilmeister, National Press Officer for the FEI World Equestrian Games. The animals are slated to compete in 8 different events. Until then, spectators like Barbara hoping to catch a glimpse of the horses as their hooves touch down in the upstate. Once in a while, something like this will happen, and you just have to be a part of it. So there you go. People watching those $1 million horses landing at the Charlotte Airport. Meanwhile, some of you may have experienced this. I-26 East was closed for a period of time after a tractor-trailer overturned at the top of Saluda Grade in Polk County. The wreck happened shortly before 7 a.m. this morning. About 2 hours later, traffic was backed up nearly 3 miles, but they have since got that opened. They said no one was injured in that traffic accident, but they have opened it up. There might still be some traffic slowdowns up that way, so if you're heading that way up Saluda Grade 26, please be careful and watch out for that. A Green Creek man is currently being held in the Polk County Slammer under a $200,000 bond after being suspected of possessing child pornography. Gabriel Charles Hosteller, 35 of Green Creek, was arrested and charged Wednesday with 5 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor, according to the sheriff's report. The sheriff's office in Polk County Investigation Division is handling the case. Hosteller reportedly moved to Green Creek earlier this year from Spartanburg County. Detectives received information in regards to Hosteller being in possession of files containing child pornography. Officials said that due to the nature of the case, they contacted the Department of Homeland Security to assist in the investigation and to process the electronic media devices. Polk County Sheriff Donald Hill asked that parents closely monitor the use of media devices used by their children and report any concern to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. There's nothing more important than the safety of our children, Sheriff Hill said. Second-degree exploitation of a minor is a Class E felony in North Carolina. An offense occurs if someone, knowing the character of content of the material, records, photographs, films, develops, or duplicates material that contains a visual representation of a minor engaged in sexual activity, distributes, transports, exhibits, receives, sells, purchases, exchanges, or solicits material that contains a visual representation of a minor engaged in sexual activity. In prosecution under the statute, the trier of fact may infer that a participant in sexual activity whom material through its title, text, visual representation, or other represents or depicts as minor is a minor. Mistake of age is not a defense to a prosecution under state law. If you know of anything or even suspect anybody is dealing in child pornography or has made a picture of a child or transporting it in any form, please have them arrested. It is a serious, serious crime, and it's a serious, serious crime. We need to have them arrested. So if you suspect it, turn them in and let the law handle it from that point on. And they're out there by leaps and bounds. We talked yesterday with the special divisions, child pornography special division of the SBI. And he was telling us how many cases there are across North Carolina where people will transfer a picture of a child naked or exploitation of a child in some sexual perverted manner, and it just has really gotten bad, and something we turn our heads away from because we don't want to acknowledge that it's going on. But it is a serious problem. We know drugs are a problem, but we don't realize and understand because it's hidden that child pornography is a problem in North Carolina. It is a serious problem with the nice neighbor down the street, as we talked about yesterday. It's not just the old evil bad guy soliciting sex for children or selling pornographic material for children. It's not just that old sleazy long-haired guy from somewhere else. It can be a neighbor down the street. So if there's any suspect whatsoever, don't want to turn anybody in that's not guilty of anything, but we do need to nip this in the bud before it's terrible how this kind of thing happened to our children. Some of them may not even know it's being done, but some of them may have been captured or held and child giveaway, sold, selling children into this kind of thing. It's more of a serious problem than you might think. All right, let's see what else. A North Carolina man told police that he's from the planet Mars. Yep. Said he's from the planet Mars after a state trooper saw him attacking a woman in a hotel parking lot. North Carolina State Highway Patrol trooper was filling up with gas nearby when someone notified the officer of an assault shortly after midnight Sunday on Marietta Circle, according to the Salisbury Post. The attacker was pulling the woman's hair out of her head. Charlotte Observer news partner WBTV reported the victim was the man's girlfriend. Salisbury police officers arrived and helped the troopers subdue the man. The suspect, 28-year-old Anthony O'Brien Cottrell, was charged with assault on a female, resist, obstruct, and delay a public officer, assault on a government official, and failure to appear in court on previous charges, according to Rowan County jail records. When police asked for his address, Cottrell told them he lives on Mars, according to the Post. But the Post and WBTV both report he is from Lexington, North Carolina. They knew he was not from Mars. How they knew that, I don't know, but he said, "I'm from Mars." And I'm sure they said, "You're crazy as a loon," but they found out he's not from Mars. Boy. Don't we got some good. I said, what is that? Don't we have some good ones out there? Some good ones. Yeah, there's some good ones out there. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. Congratulations again to Susan Hall. She's head of the Veterans Affairs Office in Spindale, and she won the Daylight Donuts this morning from the drawing we hold after we do birthdays, and we'll find out how well she enjoys those donuts from Grady B's, because everybody else does. Sheriff's report coming up in just a moment with Deputy Lancaster right after this.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt at Insurance Service Associates, about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325.
Hey, this is Brittany from the gift shop at Smith's Drugs of Forest City. Come see me for all your vacation needs, including sunscreen, sun hats, sunglasses, bug spray, and stylish summer clothing. I'm excited to tell you we have new summer sandals and booties. See you soon.
Thanks, Brittany. Now here is the Sheriff's Report with Deputy Lancaster reporting. We recorded it earlier this morning for broadcast at this time. Deputy Lancaster?
Well, in the last 24 hours, we've had 153 calls for service, 15 arrests, and we currently have 201 in the jail. As far as incident reports go, we have a breaking and entering a motor vehicle and a larceny after breaking and entering reported by Jerry Lee Quinn. He's reporting that a Sony radio was stolen, 2 debit cards and a Social Security card, and $20 worth of change were all taken from the vehicle. And then I have a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering reported by Michael Lyndon Hollers of the Boiler Road area. He's reporting a PlayStation 3 being stolen from his residence, a bucket of change of unknown amount, and prescription medication. As far as arrest reports go, I have Juwan Eugene Lynch arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. He's got a $500 secured bond. I have Stephen Douglas Brewer arrested for speed to elude arrest, possess drug paraphernalia, possess marijuana, resist public officer, failure to appear on a misdemeanor, driving a license to vote, reckless driving to endanger, and littering not greater than 15 pounds. He's got a $26,000 secured bond. I have a Haley Brianna Bowman arrested for resist, obstruct police officer, and harboring a fugitive. She's got a $5,000 secured bond. And that's all I've got for reports today.
We are remembering the classic oldies right here on WCAB Rutherfordton. The best of both worlds now. AM 590 and 100.9 FM.
We have learned that the Chapel Hill police chief, you remember when the Silent Sound was torn down, they pulled it down from folks outraged over the fact he was up there for many years. We now learned that the Chapel Hill police chief told the officers to stand down as Confederate statue is toppled. August 20th, a century-old Silent Sound statue was pulled over by some irate troublemakers, and the police chief, Chris Blue, was reportedly texting one of his men orders as he closely monitored the situation from afar. At about 9 o'clock p.m., Blue reportedly texted, "Do not engage with crowd at statue, stay way out." Half an hour later, the statue fell. Blue was paying particular attention to the potential arrival of counter-protesters to the scene. Public relations requests were sent to Blue for copies of his email and text from August 20th through 21st. WRAL obtained around 400 pages of messages. According to text messages, Blue repeatedly asked about officers' locations and appeared to be concerned about a clash between protesters and potential counter-protesters. Blue texted, "Need to make sure our plainclothes guys are really looking out for counter-protesters to arrive. This thing is all over TV and internet. The longer they take with the statue, the more time folks have arrived. Please stand down." So he told them to stand down while they vandalized the properties there at Chapel Hill. Sports Update is next. At the bottom of the hour, we have Word of Faith speaking out right here live in the studio at WCAB.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Serena Williams has reached the U.S. Open women's semifinals as she seeks her second dozen handful of Grand Slam titles. That'll be her 24th, if you're counting all those. Williams fell behind a break before posting a 6-4, 6-3 win over 8-seed Karolina Pliskova. Williams said she's not looking too far ahead, though.
I'm here to do my best, and I don't have 10 more years. At least I don't think so. I said that 10 years ago.
Next up for Williams is Anastasia Sevastova, who beat defending champ Sloane Stephens. John Isner ended his bid to become the first American since Andy Roddick in 2006 to reach the men's semifinals of the U.S. Open. The 11th seed from Greensboro was eliminated by Juan Martin del Potro in 4 sets. Despite being sent home, Isner is going home with some hardware. He was presented after being ousted by Potro with the 2018 U.S. Open Sportsmanship Award.
It's a huge honor, so I'm very appreciative of that. I didn't expect to receive a trophy after losing in the quarterfinals, but I got that.
Hurricanes players and the new head coach, Rod Brindamore, met and chatted with reporters yesterday during Hurricanes Media Day at PNC Arena. The Canes jettisoned over the offseason a trio of veterans, including Jeff Skinner. They also added 5 new players through trades and free agency, many new faces, including rookie Andrei Svechnikov. For Brindamore, the work for coaches now is to find out who's got game.
We know the guys that can play. We know who's going to be on the team, but we have a lot of spots that we're unsure about, so we want to make sure we don't have any doubt going into the season on guys. I'm not a very patient person. So didn't take the job not to win or try to win or expect to win.
Hurricanes training camp opens a week from tomorrow. Tiger Woods is back in the Ryder Cup as a player for the first time in 6 years. He, Phil Mickelson, and Bryson DeChambeau have been selected as 3 of Jim Furyk's 4 captain's picks for the Cup later this month. This is NCN Sports.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
The Colorado Rockies earned a 6-2 win over San Francisco last night to stay a half game ahead of L.A. in the NL West and 1.5 games in front of Arizona. Milwaukee, they hammered the Chicago Cubs 11-1, and they get within 3 games of the NL Central leaders. And the Brewers still lead the Cards by 1.5 games for the first NL wild card. The Phillies, they were able to pull within 3 games of the NL East leading Atlanta Braves following a 9-4 trouncing of Miami, while the Braves lost to Boston for the second straight night, 5-1 the final. The Yankees, 5-1 winners at Oakland, and that keeps the Bombers 8.5 games behind the AL East leading Red Sox. It drops the A's to 3.5 games behind Houston in the AL West. Meanwhile, Yuri Gurriel's 2-run homer capped a 4-run first inning for the Astros and a 5-2 verdict over the Twins. Houston's won 4 straight and 11 of 14 since rebounding from a 2-8 slide. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
The heat and humidity continue across the foothills and the Piedmont today. A few storms will be possible after lunchtime. Otherwise, expect partly cloudy skies with a high right near 90 degrees this afternoon. Overnight, expect a little bit of an increase in cloud cover. Low temperatures back near 70 degrees. And tomorrow's forecast, rinse and repeat. Very similar to what we saw today. High temperatures in the low 90s with mostly sunny skies. I'm Kat Campbell in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
It's 83 degrees currently. Sunny skies are developing out there. We should be sunny all day with the possibility of a pop-up afternoon thunder shower this afternoon. Right now, though, 83 degrees. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith responds.
Good morning again, and thank you for joining us. This is Mark Morris with Word of Faith Fellowship. We're so glad that you're listening this morning. We have some wonderful news to share with you today, and that's about Jesus Christ. We have been sharing on this radio program now for going on 9 months, all about what Jesus has done in our lives. We've also used this opportunity to share with you many answers to questions that you may have had. There's been a lot of false allegations about our church here in Spindale, and so we have devoted the first part of our radio programs earlier this year to addressing a lot of the false allegations. So if you want to hear some of those, you can go to our website. We have all our radio programs on our website, and they're actually videoed, so you can watch them. And our website is wordoffaithfellowship.org. You'll see a link to the radio programs, and if you scroll, you'll see the first ones. They have titles to them, and you might find some answers to questions. You may have heard something about our church, and so we've spent a lot of time answering all those questions, addressing lies about our church and telling you the truth of who we really are. Many of the later radio programs we've spent actually just sharing with you testimonies from our church about what Jesus has done in our lives. We've had many, many people come on this radio program. There's so much that God has done for us. So, I was reading last night with my daughter a verse in 1 Peter that talks about when you believe in Jesus, He actually fills you with joy that is unspeakable and full of glory. What wonderful news that we have that when we believe in Jesus, we're actually filled with joy that you cannot even express. And so that's what we've been sharing with you about, is this joy that is so full of glory that you can't contain it. It's inexpressible. And so today I have another church member with me, Ruth Ann, and she's here to share with you. She wants to share with you too about the joy that is unspeakable and full of glory, and God's done so much in her life. So Ruth Ann, go ahead.
That was exactly what I was thinking about this morning, Mark, because my story is one that God truly heals the brokenhearted, and that's all I could think was this morning was when Jesus comes into your life, it's really undescribable. You can't describe how much joy and peace you have. But I am from Tennessee. I grew up in Clarksville, Tennessee. It's actually on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And my parents were older when I was born. My dad was actually 50 and my mom was 41. So I was obviously a surprise to them. My dad suffered from a lot of depression issues. He actually had a nervous breakdown when my brother was born. But all my life he seemed to go to a psychiatrist. He took antidepressants. I mean, he functioned fine. We had a peaceful home and all, and I really didn't know what a psychiatrist was when I was little. I just knew he went to the doctor. But we always went to church. The church we went to, they just had Sunday morning service. And my mom seemed to be sick a lot. And so I would sometimes spend times with the lady that kept me while my parents worked. And one time I stayed a whole week, and I think they had a revival at her church. Anyway, I went with her to church all that whole week. And when I came home, I told my mom, I said, can we please go to that church? Can we please go to that church? And my whole family wound up switching and joining that church, my brother, my mom, my dad, and me, which was a miracle. I was only about 6 years old. And so we went there for several years. I loved it. They had a Sunday school book for Sunday morning, a Sunday school book for, Sunday night service. And I just, even when I went to church, I wanted to read that book and read the Bible all the time. And Wednesday night service was called prayer meeting. And there was just a handful of people that would come, and they would just go to the altar and lay on the altar and pray. And I asked my mom, I wanted to go. And so she would take me. I was about 7, 8 at that time. And she would drop me off and come back and get me. And best I remember, I was the only little child there. But I just loved God, and I loved being in the house of God. Some point in time, my mom and dad, they had a disagreement with the pastor, and they decided to go back to the former church. Well, I did not want to go, and so my brother would take us back and forth to the other church. But my mom kept pressuring me, and it came a point in time she really wanted us to be a family. She wanted us to go to church, the same church together. So I gave in and I went back, but I was not happy at all. It wasn't the same. Like I said, they only had one service. And this was about 5th grade. By 7th grade, my heart really started changing. I didn't have an interest in God and church like I did. And by 7th grade, which happens with a lot of young people when you get to junior high, my life began to to be consumed with relationships and boyfriends, and that's what I sought after, to fill that void that really God was supposed to fill in my life. And so I pursued that with my whole heart. My whole dress, everything about me changed. My relationship with my mom changed because I loved my mom. I mean, when I was little and we were doing this, we would go on Sunday afternoons. I'd take the hymn book. We'd sing all afternoon. You know, if I wasn't at church, I was having church with my dolls. Well, all that changed. And by the time I was 15, my mom got very sick. But because she had been sick off and on so much of my life, it seemed, I didn't think a lot about it. And my dad really protected me from telling me a lot of what was going on with my mom. And when I was 17, he told me one Sunday that I need to go see her. He didn't let me go see her a lot because he wanted to protect me. And he told me I need to go see her. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't see her again. So I went to see her, and it really devastated me. I never knew she was in that bad a shape.
She was at like a nursing home?
No, she was in a hospital, okay. You know, in the critical care unit. And she had all kinds of machines and tubes and, you know, everything hooked up to her. So sure enough, she died the next morning. And it devastated me because I never knew she was going to die. No one ever told me that she was sick enough that she was going to die. And so that really, you know, devastated me. After that, I went on to college. You know, I always did well in school. But again, I'm still, this whole time, because of these hearts that's coming, I'm still seeking after all these relationships. And my dad, after that, he was very much more depressed. He was very lonely. And so he wound up having shock treatments twice, trying to ease the pain and the hurt that he had. Because my mom and dad had a very good relationship. They loved each other very much. I never heard a cross word between them growing up. Our house was not filled with any kind of, you know, strife or anything that I knew about. I feel sure there were situations, but I didn't know about them. And so after a few years, I graduated from college. And right after I graduated, he had met a lady, and he wanted to be married again. He didn't want to be alone. And I was very happy for him. I was all for it. And he got remarried. But the lady he remarried, she was not like my mom. She wound up being a very angry, a very bitter woman. She was verbally and physically abusive to my dad. She was verbally abusive to me. And there came a point in time when she told my dad that she wanted me to move out. And so he came and told me. So that hurt me very much, but I moved to Nashville. I was actually working in Nashville at that time.
How old were you when you moved out?
I think I was about 21 or 22. And so I moved to Nashville. And so I was working there. And by this time, you know, I always knew I wanted a family. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have children. And I knew that when I did, that foundation that was laid in me as a child of knowing God, I knew when I did, I wanted someone that would go to church with me. I knew I would get my life back right with God, that I wasn't going to keep living the way I was. And so I started going to a large church in Nashville. And one day, one of the friends I met there, they asked me, you know, what brought me there. And so I just told them that. And so I remember the friend looked at me and said, Ruth Ann, every girl in here is wanting a husband. Well, the next voice that came to me was, now I know it was the devil, but said, and they won't want you because of everything I'd done, because through all those relationships, you know, there's many hurts, there's many wounds, there's many things you do that are wrong. And so I went to the world, to the outside the church, to find a husband. Because by now I was probably 23, 24, something like that. And so I did. I found a husband, and I was engaged and married within 8 months' time. And he was a very good man. He came from a very good family. I loved his parents. His parents loved me dearly. And but because I did not wait on God's plans, you know, there's a scripture in Psalms that says, you did not wait for the plan of God to unfold. You did not wait for his plans to unfold. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't wait for God to bring who he had for me. I went and sought who I wanted and to find it on my own. And so because of that, our marriage was very rocky, you know, from the very beginning. I mean, soon after we married, you know, he told me how he really didn't want to be married, but it was too late to get out of it, when we had all these plans made. So that started crushing me. But we soon, we stayed together. And but after about a year or so, we had built a house. We had nice cars. We had nice jobs. We looked like we were doing great. But there was always that underlying issue. And like I said, I always wanted children. So I did find out I was going to have a child. And then I did have a son. And in that process, during that time, divorce would come up every so often. But after my child was born, I actually had a son, a precious son, which I knew it was a miracle of God that I had a son. Of all the things I'd done wrong and situations I'd been, I knew God gave me that son. And I vowed I would give him to God and that I would raise him for what I knew to serve God. And during this time through all this, I really began to be humbled and cry out to God because I knew I'd made a mess of my life and I was way off course. And I never wanted to be divorced. That almost to me, the way I was brought up, it was like the unpardonable sin. For some reason, it was like that vow was a very sacred, a very holy vow, and I never wanted to break it. But because I didn't wait for those plans to unfold, there was nothing I could do to hold that relationship together. I went to the pastor that married us after a couple times calling him. He really didn't want to talk to me much. He gave me a book to read, and that was his answer. And I went to Christian counselors in the church. I went to classes. I did everything. I read every scripture and claimed every scripture there was to claim, and none of it kept it together. So after, when my son was probably a year, maybe a little over a year, the divorce issue came back up and papers were drawn up. And we actually did wind up getting divorced. And it really devastated me at that point, like I said, because I never wanted to be in that position. And I actually fell on my face. I remember falling on my face at that point. I came to my senses, really came to the end of myself and my senses, and I fell on my face in my living room and on that floor, and I cried out to God. And this was before I'd even come to Word of Faith. But when you're desperate and you're in a desperate situation, that's what God's put in your heart. That's the cry that comes out of you. And I knew I had to know God. It wasn't a tormenting cry. It was a cry, God, I've got to find you because I have lost you. And so I fell on my face and I said, God, there's no way I know you because God would not do these things to me. I knew that. And I made a vow, 2 vows that day, and I said, I'll never chase another man or have a relationship again. God, if you don't bring it, I'll never do it again. I never have in almost 30 years now. And the other vow that I made was that I had compromised so much of what I believed in my heart with my marriage. And I said, I compromised and lost my marriage. I'm not compromising and losing my son. So my whole focus became my son, and to make sure that everything I knew to do, anything I knew to do that was right or I felt in my heart, that's what I started doing, no matter what the cost. And through that situation, we had a lot of problems in custody situations like divorce things do. And really, divorce to me was worse than death. It was worse than my mom dying, because when you have a child involved, it doesn't end. It doesn't end when that decree is final, because you have a child to take care of between the two of you. And that was very hard. And but we went through many of those issues. And when my son was during this time, God led me to a church. I was in Murfreesboro. That's where he was from, and that's where I'd wound up moving when I left Nashville and we got married. We lived in Murfreesboro. And God led me to a church in Murfreesboro that was associated with Word of Faith. And it's just amazing how God leads you down these paths to get you to the right place when you cry out to him. And so he led me there. And so I came to seminars. My son was about 4. We came to seminars. We came to weddings for many years. And when my son was about 11 or 12, we started coming up every other weekend for for the weekend. We'd have Friday night fellowship. The person I worked for, my boss, he'd let me leave work at 11 o'clock every other Friday. I'd drive straight to North Carolina to get here in time for for Friday night fellowship, and we would stay through Sunday afternoon. And over a period of time, I knew it was the will of God to move here. But because of, the divorce decree and his dad being there, I didn't know how that would ever be possible. But I would cry out all the time. I mean, I cannot stress how much I cried out to God before I was even Word of Faith. I mean, I knew God was my answer. And I'd get in my car and I would cry, God, I've made the biggest mess of my life. Please make a way where doesn't seem to be a way. And so one day I just went to his dad. And even though, at times we had such a volatile relationship, there's one thing that he knew and that he told me. He said he knew that I loved my son. And he knew I would never do anything to hurt him. He knew that in the deepest of his hearts. And so he agreed. He agreed that we could move. And he said it was no doubt that our son loved being in North Carolina. And actually my son, every time we would come those 3.5 years, he would pack the car full. And he was hoping that one day he'd get to stay. And so when God made a way, it was just a miracle. It was a miracle of God. And so we traveled back and forth after that, back to Tennessee for him to visit his dad for a period of time. And so during this time, too, when I got ready to move to North Carolina, the job that I had a very good job in Nashville, and I had much favor with the people I worked with, and I actually went to my boss. And he came in to give me a raise and a promotion, and I told him I really had in my heart to move to North Carolina. And then I told him what was in my heart, that I really felt like I could do this from North Carolina. And to go back, from the time my son was born, I knew I'd made that mess, like I said, but it was always in my heart to be home. But as a single mom, that's about impossible. Well, when I went to my boss and told him what was in my heart, he went to the vice president of the company, and they agreed. And so I actually have been working from home full time for the same person. We've been through 2 or 3 different companies, but the same person since 2001. Now I'm home and my grandchildren are there. But that's just a miracle from God. That's unheard of, being a single mom. And that's why I say God truly hears your cries. He's heard every cry that I've ever had.
The company was fine with you staying with them, moving to North Carolina, and keeping your job that you've had for years, working out of your home. Is that right?
Yes. They said they normally didn't do that, but it's amazing how God places you where he was. My office in that company I worked for, when I started there wasn't an office on the side where everybody else was. They actually had to move me across the other side of the building. I was actually on the hallway with the president and the vice president. So they walked by my office every day, morning to night. And I came in early, I worked late. I was always there. And so they knew I would be faithful. That's what they knew. God prepared that ahead of time. I didn't do that to be seen. I didn't even know that. But that's what God did. He knew what was going to take place. And so he made a way for that to happen, because they said normally people work at home don't work, And so anyway, that has been the biggest blessing. And, when my son was little, God gave me a scripture when all my world seemed to fall apart. And it was because I said, God, you have got to help me, because the one thing I wanted was my son to make it. I wanted him to serve God, and I didn't know how that was going to happen with the, family falling apart. And so he gave me a scripture in 1 Timothy 1, and it actually says, I am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I have committed unto him. And no matter what trials I went through and have been through all these years, that scripture always comes back. I wrote that in his little children's Bible. It's been before me all my life, no matter what we've been through. And like I said, because I made such a mess, I had believed a lie for many years that I messed up the plan of God for my life, and that there really wasn't another plan. And that's why I lived my life through my son. I was going to make sure he had the life God planned for him, because I had messed mine up. But there was a scripture that's read many times in our church. And one day it became revelation to me. God actually spoke to me. And it's Psalms 139. And it talks about where he saw me before I was ever born, before I was ever formed, he knew me. And it said, in his book, all the days of my life were written before they ever took place. And all of a sudden one day, this has just been a few years ago, it came to me, well, if that's true, then there's got to be more to my life. It can't be over, or I would be dead and gone by now. And so I began to cry out to God, his purpose and his plan. And, you know, God just, he will unfold his will before your eyes and put you, you know, where you're supposed to be. And one thing that I'm involved in is the prison ministry. You know, another lady and I, we help prepare and plan meals for the guys that come out from the camp here in town. And the other special place that was Mark's wife, Holly, she just passed me in the hall. This was when my son was in high school, about 2005, and said, you know, Ruth Ann, would you come help me tonight? You know, get the food together and help me set up for the young people to fellowship. And I said, well, sure. So I went. And when I saw how our young people fellowshipped, I mean, this day I can't hardly not cry, but I could not stop crying, because you got to remember, I had so many, that was what I pursued, was boyfriends and relationships, and I did it all wrong, and it brought much heartache. And when I saw how our young people, what God has prepared for them, it was the most precious thing I've ever seen. I mean, it was so pure, so loving. They had the best time. They laugh, they play, they just enjoy being with one another. There's no hurt. There's no undermining each other. There's no competition with one another. There's no, what we had in our school, clique groups. There's no elite. You know, everybody just loves each other and loves being together. And so I've been doing that ever since about 2005. You know, every single week. You know, if I don't find out we're doing something, I'm usually texting Holly and her friend, you know, Robin Webster, and finding out what we want to do, you know. And so that's so precious to me. And another area that God put me in, and I've been in over 10 years now, is with the toddlers, with the 1 and 2 year olds. I mean, I love children, and I always said I wanted a house full. Well, God has a way to fulfilling what's in your heart, you know. When that marriage didn't work, God knew what's in my heart, and he has always put children in my life. And those little 1 and 2 year olds, it grieves me to hear the lies that are told about our children, because it's so absolutely the opposite. Those little 1 and 2 year olds, they can barely talk, but they all have their little microphones. They have their little tambourines. They have their Bibles. They try to say the scriptures, you know. They try to tell you about Jonah, Noah. They can only may say 1 or 2 words of the song, but they're trying to sing and they jump. And so it is such a blessing to be with them. And so, you know, the other scripture that God gave me was that he puts the solitary in families. And as you can hear in my testimony, that was really the desire of my heart. And he truly has. And really, he put 2 precious people in my mind and my son's life many years ago when we moved here, and that was Mark and Suzanne Doyle. And they've really been, you know, true family to us, along with everybody else. And in the last year or two, God spoke to me and said, this was the family that you've been looking for all your life. It was the family of God. I mean, Jesus was what I needed in my heart all that time, and that's what I was searching. But the family I was looking for was the family of God. Our church, there's nothing like it. I mean, when I tell you about that church where the pastor gave me the book, I mean, I have nothing against him, nothing against that church. But, you know, when we separated and I became divorced, the married friends I had no longer wanted to associate with me anymore. You know, so many people fell away. But in our church, you never know if you're single, married, rich, poor, young, old. We're truly the body of Christ, and that's how we function, and we truly love each other. And, you know, we all still have struggles since we've been there, and there's been times I've been in a pit since I've been there. But you know what? I know there's people around me that's going to help pull me out. They love me. They're not going to judge me. We never can throw a stone at one another, because it may be me one day, it may be them the next day. You know, we're just there to help each other because we all want to make it to heaven. And my life is so full it's just like Mark started out saying, sometimes I just sit, and it's just like the joy that overwhelms me sometimes. What Jesus means in my heart and how faithful he's been to me, it's undescribable.
And that's so great, Ruth Ann. And of course, your son is very involved in our church, and he's a major blessing in church, and he's married, and now you have 2 wonderful grandchildren, which you are with all the time as well, and they're so cute. And I loved how you shared about that you work with our young children. How many years have you, when our church has the children go to their classes, and you're the teacher, right?
Yeah.
How long have you done that?
It's been over 10 years. Actually, Mark and Suzanne Doyle that I mentioned, it was when their daughter was born, is when I actually started going in there and to help, and then God gave me the class, and so ever since then.
And when you were sharing about it, I was thinking about that there has been these lies against our church. It's been amazing. We always get shocked at the things we hear, but these lies that have come out that children in our church are abused, and here you are saying you're one of the Sunday school teachers of these children in our church, and you're talking about what a great time they have. And of course, I've seen that too myself. And one thing about it is our children are loved, and they're taught about Jesus loves them, and we all love them, and they love each other. And so I'm just so grateful that God brought you here, because like you said, you were looking for a family, and your testimony was that you were always looking for, you had all these boyfriends. We were talking about you had boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend, junior high, and you wanted this family. That was your goal, and then you get this family, and it falls apart. And then you still have this cry, God, what is it in my life? And then God brings you here, and God establishes you here, and then God tells you this is the family that you've always looked for. And I love that.
Exactly right.
Because, it's amazing how when you're in the family of God, it's like no other family. Sometimes in the natural, our families fail us, relationships fail us. But when you're in the family of God, the Bible talks about that these relationships they're actually closer than a brother, because God actually puts his love in our hearts for each other. And I think about, Jesus said this in John. He said, you will know they are of me by their love. And really, that's what I know we feel at our church, is that we have so much love for each other. And it's like you said, it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich, poor, color of skin, or anything else. When you're part of the family of God, you are family. And that's an eternal relationship. So that was so good that you shared that. And thank you again for listening to us, listeners. This is Word of Faith Fellowship. And again, you can go to our website to learn more about our church and hear more of our radio programs. That's wordoffaithfellowship.org. And we are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. And hope you have a great day.
We are remembering the classic oldies right here on WCAB Rutherfordton. The best of both worlds now. AM 590 and 100.9 FM.
Today's hits and yesterday's memories, WCAB Rutherfordton. Get the first weather forecast every morning at 6:05 here on AM 59 WCAB Rutherfordton.
I'm Sherry Preston. Day 2 of the confirmation hearing for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is set to start in about a half an hour. ABC's Terry Moran.
This battle is one that could shape the Supreme Court for decades. Kavanaugh's likely confirmation would cement a conservative 5-4 majority on the court and put decisions like Roe versus Wade back up for debate. A real concern, Kavanaugh, as Trump's nominee, who's written that sitting presidents shouldn't be investigated, could protect this president if a challenge to the Mueller probe hits the high court.
President Trump this morning on Twitter raising the question about changing libel laws as the White House pushes back against a new book called Fear, Trump in the White House by reporter Bob Woodward. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders on ABC this morning.
You can't have the type of success that this president has had if what that book says is true.
2 Russians are now charged with poisoning a former Russian spy and his daughter earlier this year in Great Britain. Here's ABC's Ian Pannell.
An intensive investigation that's gone on over 6 months using forensic evidence, using CCTV cameras. They managed to identify these 2 suspects who have now been charged landing at